Okay, so here we are in one of the classes that I've been assigned over the fall. I'm actually not teaching an online class over the fall, but I just threw this assignment here into my in-person class, and I'll save all the instructions and then of course delete this. And for future online assignments, I am hoping to be able to use this template. It's fairly simple, so I just want to walk you all through the very basics before I start explaining exactly what the assignment is. This is an assignment, as you can see right here. It's called a real-time negotiation. And in the synchronous discussion that we had, I mentioned that one of my big fears about engaging with things like Zoom is that in a class of, I don't know, let's say 20 or 30, it becomes very difficult to monitor each individual student. But for something like a graduate class or a summer class or a smaller, more boutique class, I think something like what I'm doing here could be very useful. So this is called a real-time negotiation activity. And I want to start by giving the basics. So this activity would take place on Zoom primarily in such a way that students would be partnered up, one student and another student, and then randomly each pair would be assigned one of 6 negotiation scenarios. And these are negotiation scenarios, and I'll show you here what I've got. Here's the 6 that I have here. For example, let's open this one. These are highly detailed negotiation scenarios, and this one is very provocative. It's the Nazi Party of America versus a town, and it's a negotiation that's all about one person's representing the Nazi Party's right to free speech, and the other is representing a town who is trying to not allow them to come and speak. And what you can see is that throughout there are confidential instructions for the town attorneys, and then there are up here there are confidential instructions for the American Civil Liberties Union, who's representing that Nazi Party. And so each student will be one of the two. They each have their own instructions that explain, here's the information that you have, here's what you know about your opposition, and here's how you'll be negotiating with that person. So they'll be assigned one of those 6 scenarios. Now, all 6 scenarios aren't as crazy as that, but here they are. They're all present in PDF form. And what they'll do is they'll click their assignment tab, they'll find themselves here, and in this small little window, this is where they learn everything that they need to know about the assignment. So all in all, what they're going to be doing is a 15-minute negotiation. But the kicker is that they'll be given their assignment about 1 week before they begin their negotiations. And so they'll have a week to not only do their own research as individuals, but actually also interact with their negotiation partner. Because in the real world, you don't just sit in isolation from the people who you're negotiating with. You can interact with them before, let's say, a court date or a town hall or a board meeting. You can actually interact with people prior to that. And so I'll be encouraging students to do that. And they will be graded together in one rubric, because negotiation is a joint activity and a joint venture. It's not about one side beating another. So what you can see is that this assignment is worth a total of 150 points. It would be approximately 15% of their final grade. 60 of those points come from their preparation, and so what I'll ask them to do is submit on Canvas to me their notes, their individual notes, their collective notes, the documentation that not only did they do their own individual research, but that they also met and got things done there. And then, of course, a sheet detailing their interests, their positions, their goals, everything that they would hope to take away from the negotiation. This is their preparation sheet. I imagine it would be a couple of pages long each, maybe 5 or 6 pages total between the two parties. Execution is worth 60 points, so each party's ability to take an interest-focused, issue-centered style of negotiation. These are things that we'll be going over in class. The ability to articulately present your interests and your goals, and then of course the techniques that we learned from class would be used, and of course and so these accumulate for a total of 60. I'm requiring that students come to an end result of some sort. They can't end in a stalemate. They have to come to an agreement. So that's worth a certain amount of points. as is their effort toward a mutually satisfying result. So again, all in all, this is worth 150 points out of 1,000, so 15% of their final grade. And then up here is where the action happens. Right here is a link where they can go download Zoom. Here is a link where the Zoom lobby would be, right? When it comes time to actually do the negotiations, this is the link that they would click, and they'd be sent to my own personal, hosting office room, which has not yet been set up because I haven't done this yet, but that is where that link would send them. And then this sheet would send them right here to this Word document where they can, type in here, James and Jeff are slotted to do the 10 a.m. to 10:20 on November 13th, 2019. And so this is an interactive portal where I can see them sign up in real time, and there's no conflict of schedules. Everybody knows when their negotiations are going to happen. As you can see here, I have as many as 12 time slots, and so this could accommodate a class as large as 24. But again, I would really stray away from doing this particular assignment with a large class. But the idea here is to get them looking at each other face to face and engaging in a negotiation. This is an assignment that I would use for my COM 4500 class, which is conflict and negotiation, communicating in conflict. And it is an assignment that I use in person, but the whole point of this is to adapt it to be online. And so this is how I would adapt it to be online. They would be able to do their face-to-face negotiations, and I would still be there to watch them do it and to monitor it, and so that way they don't have to record or go through any links. All they have to do is download Zoom, enter the lobby, and that's it. So this is the assignment that I've created, and this is how it would be executed. And again, I have 6 different scenarios that students would be assigned to. So I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.